Greetings and welcome to another episode of SPCA Stories. Hope you are all doing well. If you are new to us, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. I'm Dawn Fenton, SPCA Monterey County Content and Education Manager, and we are coming to you from the SPCA Monterey County Claire Jacobson Learning Center in beautiful Salinas, California. My guest this time is Fernando Leon, our extremely gifted community outreach coordinator. Fernando is responsible for creating content and tracking stats and trends for all of our social media, building digital communication, and a whole host of other duties. Fernando is creative and talented, and he knows just how to present the animals at the SPCA to the world with humor, sensitivity, and beauty. I am so lucky to have Fernando on my team. Enjoy. Well, hello, Fernando.
Hi, Dawn.
How's it going?
It's going well.
So why don't you introduce yourself to everyone?
My name is Fernando, and I am our community outreach coordinator here at the SPCA Monterey County.
And how are you liking that job?
So far, so good, I've been here for almost 2 years, and I've grown to like it more each day.
I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Love to hear that. So how did you find us?
Instagram. I remember I was just scrolling on my phone, and I followed SPCA for I don't know how long, but I was just scrolling on my phone, and I was just going through. I was actually in searching for a dog, so I actually wanted to get a dog, and that's why I was following SPCA. And so I had the alerts on Instagram where it tells you and it notifies you when somebody posts. And SPCA posted, so I saw it, and then I read the caption. I don't even know what the post was, but it for sure said "Oh, do you like animals? Do you like social media or something like that?" And then it's apply, and then I applied, and here I am.
Here you are 2 years later. Mm-hmm. So what is your title?
My title? Mm-hmm. Community outreach coordinator.
Okay. So when people ask you what you do, how do you describe your job?
I always have trouble kind of describing it because I say community outreach coordinator, but at the same time, most people still question what that is. And I don't blame them because, but in short, if I'm in an Uber or just talking to someone random, I'm just I'm a puppy photographer or something. And then they're like, what? And then I'm like, yeah, so I work at the SPCA and I do some of our social media and marketing stuff and then keep it simple. And then people are like, oh, that's so cool. And then that's when I'll explain oh yeah, take pictures of our animals and stuff like that.
So Fernando is in charge of our social media, basically. What he says goes. He does all our social media. We have a small team, but Fernando is primarily responsible for it, and he does a bang-up job.
Thank you.
How do you find your inspiration?
I think it varies, but definitely it helps because I personally really like animals. So it's just I'm I want to let someone see this cute dog and see this dog's personality or something like that. So it's pretty much just main inspiration is trying to get these animals a home.
Yeah, I mean they kind of are just naturally inspirational. I know that you also follow trends, and so you're probably looking at social media a lot. How do you pick? Because some things will be trending, and how do you kind of find stuff that we want to repeat?
Honestly, I'll think about it as, can I see an animal doing this, or can this be an animal and pretty much changed with an animal? Yeah, that's pretty much the two thoughts that I would have. And then that's when I started thinking, it was do I have a dog calm enough to be part of this, or a cat or something? But yeah, I'd say I always look into thinking is, can we have an animal replicate this? And I'd say those are my go-to methods.
What was your favorite one you've done so far?
Favorite trend
or
something?
Yeah.
Honestly, definitely was a Santa Claus video that I did a while back. It wasn't necessarily a trend, but it was more just a video that I did in general because it was super different. It's very different than normal, but it also it really brought a lot of joy. Obviously, like holiday joy for our peers. So
Yay.
I thought that was really cool.
People loved that Santa Claus. And I think the guy who played Santa Claus probably had a good time too.
He did. He really did enjoy being with animals. He himself told us that he just loves animals. Yeah,
Aw.
that was super cool. But yeah, it was definitely, that was one of the fun parts. Yeah.
Yeah. So before I go any further, I one of the things I like to do when I interview people is I like to pay a compliment. I like to put my interview subject on a little pedestal. So Fernando, like you said, has been with us for a couple of years, and he started as part-time. And he has just been such a great presence here. And everybody likes him, and he's a hard worker. And Fernando, you're like up for anything. We'll throw stuff at you and you're like, sure. And you do it. And so it really, we appreciate that. I appreciate that. So, and you're really, really good at what you do. He's a great photographer, and he has a really wonderful eye for things. So he's kind of, and oh, by the way, I'm his manager. I should throw that in there. I should throw that out there. And I've just been so lucky because he's amazing. So
yeah, thank you so much. That's very kind of you to say. It's good to hear.
It's the truth, sir.
Thank you.
So going back a lot, what were you like as a kid?
I was a huge troublemaker.
Oh yeah?
Like insanely huge troublemaker. Yeah, my mom brings this up a lot, and she always talks about how much trouble I used to get into as a child. And like I'm talking like big troublemaker. Like I used to just break things that wasn't mine, and like I just get in trouble.
Interesting.
I don't know why. I just always sought out for trouble. I think it was the thrill that I really enjoyed. I don't know. It was just so fun.
So that is so interesting because so anyone who's listening, so Fernando is like the most put together guy. So, and he's like kind and polite. So hearing that, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, I definitely had a fun childhood. I like to put it. I was outside a lot, and I just got into a lot of trouble, and it was fun. Like it's trouble that I enjoyed, and it made great memories. And so, yeah, I just used to be a huge troublemaker. Yeah.
So when did you grow out of it?
I don't know. I think it just naturally I just kind of did. But yeah, because I don't know. It was for just forever that I was just like just into getting into mayhem.
A rascal.
Yeah, it was just so much fun. I don't know why.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
Anything and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. As a kid, I always wished to have been anything and everything. Like career-wise, just I wanted to be everything. I wanted to be a doctor, astronaut, firefighter, cop, like military. I wanted to be veterinary. Like I just wanted to be everything. Yeah, I wanted to be everything and do everything as a kid. Yeah.
I love that. Did you grow up around animals?
I did. There was a point where we had a lot of cats, and yeah, I just remember growing up with a lot of cats around me. Yeah, I think this was just, I don't know if we had like a colony or something, but we just always had cats. We always had dogs, different breeds, different sizes, but we always had a chihuahua somehow. But yeah, but yeah, I always grew up around animals. I always loved animals.
So, so you're very creative, and you've, like I was saying earlier, you have a great eye for things. What makes you so passionate about what you do for us and in life?
I definitely would have to refer to my time alone in just kind of growing up in life and stuff. I just always felt like I was a big kind of loner. And so it was kind of big outlet to express myself in my personal life and like work itself too. It's just it's been fun to be able to see, kind of put out what my brain thinks and what my brain sees in a way. It's just use my imagination, because it's your imagination is like one of the creative powers you have. So it's like, it's pretty cool. It's like starting from a blank state.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, it's the biggest art form, I'd say.
What about the SPCA is inspiring to you?
Definitely, I would say our colleagues and peers. Because before I always seen, it's an animal shelter, and definitely it's good getting animals adopted and stuff like that. But once I started getting to know people here in different positions, I think it's really, really cool seeing how anyone and everyone in their positions works very hard,
Mm-hmm.
and like from animal care, customer care to the management team and stuff like that. They work very hard in what their job role is. And so it's just this huge, well-oiled machine. So I think it's
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's just a really good, hardworking and healthy environment. So I think that's kind of one of the cool parts.
Is there a particular department that you find especially interesting?
Mm, I definitely are wildlife, and just because it's wildlife,
Mm-hmm.
they get cool animals. They get owls, they get coyotes and stuff like that. But um, I would say I really have a lot of respect towards our animal care team. They're just, it's animal care. They clean the kennels and make sure they're nice and clean and like
Yeah.
throughout the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
So those two departments are really like, wow, it's so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, the level of care
Mm-hmm.
is so incredible.
Yeah.
And it's not just about keeping things clean. I mean, that's like step one. They just have such open hearts and they really care about all of the animals.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
So, and I don't know about you, but for me, that makes me want to work even harder in what I do.
Yeah.
So, does that make sense?
No, I totally get you. It's like, what's the word? It's very, infectious,
Mm-hmm.
it just makes you really want to work harder with them alongside
Yeah.
of them. And then even though it's different departments, it's definitely rewarding to see everyone working hard, because at the end of the day, it all leads towards the animals finding homes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. They save lives.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it makes me want to do my part even better
Exactly. Yeah.
when I see how hard they're working.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what's better than that? It makes working very easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If that
Yeah. No,
makes
exactly.
sense.
Yeah, I totally get you. Yeah.
What's your favorite part of the job?
Definitely. Well, obviously, like animals, because I love animals.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically cats. I'm a big cat person, so I really love being around cats, even though I'm allergic at the same time.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'd say definitely the animals, but it would be what I can do for these animals is what's the favorite part would be, like taking their photos and helping them get adopted, find homes. That's definitely the best part of my job, because it's very rewarding and it's
Yeah.
very nice. It's
That's
really
got
good
to
to
feel
see it.
good when
Mm-hmm.
if whether it's doing a pet of the week segment
Yeah.
and then that pet is adopted by the time we open,
Yeah.
basically,
Mm-hmm.
or of taking a beautiful photo. Again, Fernando takes the most beautiful photos and
Thanks.
he really showcases our pets and they're beautiful. And that really helps when you put them on social media and you have this beautiful photo of a pet. And then all of a sudden you've got like 35 comments
Yeah.
and a bunch of likes. That's got to feel pretty good.
It does. It does, because it's I mean, yeah, it really does, because it's it gets to see the animal better,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's the duck or the dog or the cat. They get to see it in a nicer quality in a way than and it's really nice. It really is.
So what is the hardest part of the job?
Definitely would have to be the the puppies, like I think I do. Besides, yeah, I would have to definitely say the puppies.
Uh-huh.
Like photographing puppies and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Just because they're puppies, they're crazy, and
Yeah.
I love it for sure. But it's just, yeah, I'd say the puppies. It's photographing puppies and getting videos of them would probably be the hardest part of my job. But it's definitely fun. It's really fun because it's they're puppies. Who
Yeah.
doesn't love being around puppies?
Yeah, they're definitely wiggly,
Mm-hmm.
and they take a little bit longer, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
most definitely.
to
Yeah,
get
that's exactly
photos
what it is. Yeah.
What do you wish people knew about the SPCA?
That were not scary. I definitely would love for people to know that, because a lot of people think animal shelters are kind of scary and sad, and like you always hear, "Oh, I don't want to go in there because it'll make me sad, or because I can't take them home and stuff." And like I get that, like I totally get that, and but I wish people got to see that more, because going back to it, like every role in here plays a pretty big part in making sure this is a nice like place for animals, so it's like you get to see like as an employee, I get to see the level of care that goes into our animals, so it's not scary at all, and I'd say definitely that, there's a lot that goes into it, so I wish they knew that more, so yeah.
But just come visit.
Yeah.
Just check it out. You're going to be amazed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty cool.
No, definitely, because there are people who have come and visit, and they definitely, some people do come just to hang out with the animals, like it's the animal therapy for themselves too. It's just, so I think it's cool that they kind of get it, it's, because they've experienced, they can come in, hang out with a dog for a bit, show them love, and like, give them treats, give them belly rubs kind of thing. So it's really nice. It's really good for both the people and the dogs and cats and everything.
For sure. For sure. Have you learned anything about yourself working here that has surprised you?
I would definitely say how much I think I learned like a lot, I think I have a lot more patience than I thought I have. And I mean by that is, one, just like, I love puppies. Who doesn't? But you gotta have patience with that for sure. But also, I learned I can actually talk more, because in my regular day-to-day life, I talk, but I don't talk as much, especially now that I deal with, we sometimes deal with like donor relations and like meeting donors and like talking to people and like, yeah, I'd say especially like our colleagues and peers, because we all have different backgrounds and like personalities and stuff like that. So it's really cool to be able to socialize. And yeah, I think that's what I've learned the most, is that, I can actually socialize with different people, different personalities. So definitely that. And I'd say that's one of the things that I for sure learned.
Yeah, you're very good at talking to people about what we do. Yeah, it's nice to see, and I'm glad to hear you say that you're like, yeah, I could do this. So you're still honoring who you are.
Yeah,
but you've become very good at being able to tell people what we do.
Yeah,
so that's
thanks.
super cool. That is a super cool thing. Let's say somebody's out there listening to this, and maybe I don't know if they're going through a career change, or maybe they're young and they're going to school, trying to figure out what they're going to do. And they hear you talk about what you do with social media, to take pictures and post on social media of pets, or, I didn't know that was a thing. What advice would you give them about how to start? How do you get started?
I think the best way would be using the resources you may or may not have already. What I mean by that is if, because a lot of the photos that I take are with the iPhone, iPhone and stuff like that. So if you have a phone, no matter what it is, and you have a cute dog or cat, or you just love them, like that's already practice. I'm pretty sure everybody takes pictures of their dogs or cat consistently. So things like that, and as well just familiarizing yourself with the socials, and like those are one of the big ones. And then just keeping a lookout for kind of one of those things, because I'd say that's kind of what I was doing in a way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you found us kind of by accident.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense to keep your eyes open and just look for opportunities, because you never know where they're going to be. You never know when you're going to come across something that could be interesting.
No, exactly. Because before I saw that, I remember reading the description and stuff like that of the said job position that the SPCA posted. And I've had some social media experience from previous job, but it wasn't nearly this much as this job entails. But so there was part of me that was like, I don't know, like it's like hesitant it's like I've only dabbled with it a wee bit. So then once I just took it around with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, here I am.
How do you separate yourself from work? What do you do for self-care?
I guess in my day-to-day life, or just like
Yeah.
well, kind of first of all, I always just remind myself that like all my feelings and emotions are valid, and it's normal for me to feel anything that I feel, so whether it's at work or at home or something like that. It's just normal. So, like, for example, if I get feel some form of emotion for an animal here or anything like that, it's very normal, because I have pets, so it's I could only imagine what my pet would feel like or something like that. But so when it comes to self-care, it's kind of understanding my emotions and feelings, what I'm feeling and why I'm feeling it, and how can I control that. So I focus on the controllables, whether it's physically, mentally, psychologically, things like that. So that's the cool part about my job, is that I have a good amount of power to be able to help these animals find a home. So I think that's one of the coolest parts about my job. And then, so dealing with it outside of work, I do a lot of just creative stuff. I'd say that's my big one. I do a lot of creative stuff, and I spend a lot of time exercising, I'd say. So yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah, that's good. All that's good stuff. Tell me something about yourself that nobody here knows about you.
Yeah, so I really, 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 really love reading poetry. Like really, really, really love reading poetry. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I read a lot of poetry, and like ever since I was a kid, like despite me being a big troublemaker, I just always loved poetry. I don't know why.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is it about poetry?
I think it definitely would have to be because it's like a lot of other things in life. It's like one of those, whatever you are feeling or experiencing, it's written down. It's written down, but it's written down beautifully. And whatever it is, what kind of poetry you're reading, but it's there. And sometimes I'll read a poem and I'm like, damn, whoa, like that's the stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, I really, really love poetry.
Do you have a favorite poet or style?
I love free verse kind of poems, but poet, I can never go wrong with like Frank O'Hara or Pablo Neruda. Those are my top two, I'd say.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd say those are definitely my top.
That is amazing. That is incredible.
Yeah, those would definitely be it. But yeah, I think that's one of my, I don't want to say hidden things because I don't really hide it, but I just don't.
It's not something that comes up in everyday conversation, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, besides that, I really, really love, I mean, you kind of know about this, but I really love like jazz. And I really love like crooners kind of music. So it's my kind of music. So I guess it goes hand in hand.
So you're so it's almost like you're an old soul. Like maybe, I'm not going to say you were born in the wrong time, but you definitely relate to or have a love for times past.
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
That's the coolest thing. I love that. I love that. So what are your hopes for the future of animal welfare?
Definitely would be the hopes for future animal welfare would definitely have to be with more people having knowledge of resources there is around them, like definitely like spaying, neutering, vaccinations, like that. I feel like that's a really big one, because definitely before I started working here, I had some knowledge, but not too much, and it's, I'd say that is a pretty big one, and that adopting is a really, really good way to go, because you can find a puppy here, you can find an older dog, and both same thing, kitten or cat, and there's a good animal in every single one of them, and every single one of them needs a home. So
I love it.
I definitely think that would be one of the big ones.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, Fernando, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
And I enjoy working with you so much, and being kind of office mates and all that good stuff. And thank you. Thank you for all of your work, and keep inspiring.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was fun.
Thank you all for tuning in. We would love to hear from you. If you have questions or just want to say hello, you can drop me an email at dfenton@spcamc.org. You can find more information about all of the programs and services we provide at our website, spcamc.org. A tremendous thank you to all SPCA staff, volunteers, and board of directors. And a heartfelt thank you to our generous supporters. We at SPCA Monterey County could not do what we do for the animals and people in our community without you. If you would like to support us, and that would be amazing, you can find that information at spcamc.org. If you are so inclined, please drop a like or give us a rating on whatever platform you listen in on. We are striving to continue this reach far and wide, and those ratings help us a lot. Dawn Fenton here, signing off until next time. Much unconditional love to you and your pets from us here at SPCA Monterey County.